It's me, your Uncle Cooper, and this is a Cooper tire. Great tire. Now, it's not gonna cook you a pot roast, but it will stop when you hit the brakes. And these truck tires can stop on average 10 feet shorter than other tires on a wet road. See, the trick is in the grip, and these tires grip like my handshake. Look, I'm your uncle. I love you. I want you to stop when you need to. Doesn't matter if it's for a red light or a duckling. So go with the Coopers. Cooper! And never start something you can't stop.
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the Road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
Welcome to Road to Indy TV. Download the app to watch live and get access to exclusive content all season long.
At the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Moving to row number 8, driver making his Road to Indy debut here this weekend from Phoenix, Arizona, Josh Sarche in the number 11 for D-Force Racing. He'll start 16th alongside Christian Bogle for J. Howard Driver Development in that number 7 machine, Bogle out of Covington, Louisiana. Moving now forward to row number 7, Simon Sykes, driver who is leading the F1600 Championship Series points right now. His second start here in the Road to Indy. Had a good opening weekend, a maiden voyage at Indianapolis last Thursday and Friday. He is well with Legacy Autosports in the Metashare machine alongside Marati Autosport. The rookie Sykes in the number 20, starting 14th. Inside of that row, 13th, another driver to keep your eye on because he's starting further up front in the other two races. Christian Brooks in the number 44 from Santa Clarita, California, the rookie for Exclusive Autosport. I expect him to be on a tear early. Look for him to move to the outside. Brooks starting 13th inside of row number 7. Moving now to row number 6 on the outside, it'll be Wyatt Prokachik in that number 5 machine. Prokachik out of Jonestown, Colorado, running for J. Howard Driver Development. On the inside, driver had 2 poles at Indianapolis for D-Force Racing, the Brazilian Kiko Porto in the number 12. We'll move our way now into the top 10, starting on the outside. Really strong run in Indianapolis. Jack William Miller for Miller Vinatieri Motorsports in the number 40, starting in the 10th position. And in that 9th spot inside of row number 5, Yuvan Sooner-Amurthy in the number 21 machine. Yuvan out of Guilderland, New York, made his debut here in USF2000 a couple of years ago at Mid-Ohio. He does have some experience here. Look for him to try to work his way up to a podium. Row 4 on the outside for Cape Motorsports out of Portland, Oregon. It's Kyle Dupel in the number 8 machine. And on the inside from England, Matt Round-Garrido for Pabst Racing in the number 23. Row number 3 on the outside, Nolan Siegel in the number 9 from Palo Alto, California for J. Howard Driver Development. Tremendous driver. Just about a minute away from our command. Nolan Siegel, good qualifying effort, a 121.779 for Siegel. He'll start on the inside, or rather the outside. And on the inside, his teammate last year, actually both these drivers were at Newman Walks Racing from Toowoomba, Australia in the number 10 for D-Force Racing. It's been a strong week so far for Cameron Shields in that number 10 machine. He'll start P5. Row 2 on the outside, rather inside and outside, and all Cape Motorsports, row number 2. From New York, Josh Green in the number 2, Mount Kisco, starting on the outside in the number 2, and on the inside for Michael D'Orlando, driver from Hartsdale, New York, in the number 4. Both New York drivers on row 2. Front row, though, driver coming off his first win at Indianapolis. First Road to Indy victory from Miami, Florida, Reese Gold in the number 3. And the driver on the pole position started the season off Impressive run with 6 straight wins. Christian Rasmussen starting on the pole. Folks, we are set to go on pit lane. Drivers, start your engines. Engines coming to life on pit lane, as I said. And indeed, Christian Rasmussen, the Danish driver for J. Howard Driver Development, has been absolutely awesome to start the season. 6 straight victories, but had a bit of trouble at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 6th, 5th, and 21st, the 3 results. That monster start gives him still a 50-point lead coming into this event. Qualified on pole. That's a bonus point already. So 51 points essentially for Christian Rasmussen up front as your pole sitter. He'll look to get away here. But as I said, guy starting on the outside, Reese Gold, 2nd place in points. He knows that he cannot let Rasmussen have another one of these events where he's able to pull away. Just simply can't let it happen. He'll be aggressive at the start for sure. And again, coming off the confidence as well from that win in Indianapolis, I would expect we'll see a much different Reese Gold. He's going to go at him big time here early on. And John, as you know, turn number 2, an opportunity to pass on the opening lap. Turn 4 for sure.
Exactly right. The two prime passing opportunities here on the course. You know, as I look through this field, it's my pleasure to be able to be the series announcer for both the F4 and the Formula Regional Americas Championships. And boy, a lot of these names are familiar. We've had a lot of these drivers in our championships as well, and it's great to see them moving up to the Cooper Tires USF2000 Championship. Especially impressed with Dudu Barrichello. He's really had a great season with y'all, and he's got, 2 wins and a couple other podiums. He's coming on strong, and he is, of course, the son of Rubens Barrichello.
Indeed, yeah. Great breakthrough weekend at Indianapolis for Eduardo Barrichello. A couple of victories. And it just really, gave him a lot of confidence. I had a chance to do a Facebook Live interview with my RTI Road to Indy Insider Live program, and we chatted about that and how more comfortable he's feeling getting those wins in the books. And a great young driver, but he'll be starting at the tail of the field. So if you've got up early here, you got a nice cup of coffee, you're up on the hill, wherever you are around the racetrack, remember, look at the tail of the field. You want to watch the front, but let's see what Eduardo Barrichello can do in that number 22 from the tail of the field. Should be an interesting start for certain. And again, one of the interesting things as well about this weekend, 3 races for these drivers. They had practice and 2 qualifying sessions yesterday, so a total again of 6 sessions, but only 4 sets of tires. They had a carryover set from Indianapolis that they used in that opening session. Where do they use the tires? We saw this at Indianapolis. In qualifying, did you use 2 sets because you wanted track position? That'll always play into the factor. And we'll see that probably come more to the forefront in race number 3 to see who potentially has fresher tires for that particular run. Drivers now working their way into Thunder Valley out of turn number 9. Cold tires for sure, and it's not a really warm day either. That's one of the key things right now. Currently sitting at 57 degrees. It's a bit sunny, but it's a cool day, the coolest we've had. These tires are not going to have the grip they've had throughout the season thus far. Of course, we started things off at the start of July at Road America, came here to Mid-Ohio, then went to the Oval at Lucas Oil Raceway. These drivers excited to be back at it after a Thursday, Friday run at Indianapolis. Out of the final corner, we're getting ready to go racing, folks. They're ready to punch off. Green, green, green. Racing into 1. Starting the triple header here at Mid-Ohio. Rasmussen, of course, going to get the lead coming through turn number 1. That advantageous inside starting spot lets him come through. But again, look for the attack early. Right now, though, actually, Reese Gold having to defend from his teammates. Look at the bleed already for Rasmussen. Around the outside comes D'Orlando, I believe, trying to get the spot away from his teammate Reese Gold. They're teammates, but they're all racing for the same scholarship. Look at the lead already. And look at Rasmussen. He's actually using the lead he has coming out of the keyhole to scrub the tires. But he had enough of a lead to scrub the tires, get a little more heat into it. He'll be better coming through turn number 4.
Exactly right. Rasmussen, a very skilled driver. He had great success in our series as well, and clearly showing what he's got out in front. Going to try to build up a little bit of a lead and see if he can make that happen. Go ahead.
Yeah, trouble there for Reese Gold coming through turn number 5. He's lost a couple of spots, maybe almost lost a couple of spots. Is right behind him, getting pushed aggressively by Nolan Siegel in the J. Howard Driver Development number 9 machine, pushing hard on him. And you can see the car got squirrely as he tried to turn into the top of the hill of turn 5. And that's a tough part of the racetrack anytime, John, not to mention when you're on cold tires in a cold racetrack.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, trouble!
Right.
There goes Rasmussen! Rasmussen off the racetrack! Rasmussen has trouble coming over the hill, and he's in the wall! Rasmussen, the point leader, has walled it. Left front damage potentially to the car. Another driver into pit lane further back, but wow, that is massive in the championship. Christian Rasmussen coming over the hill, the crest of turn number 11. He'll stay on the racetrack right now, I believe. But Rasmussen up over the hill of turn 11. It's that blind corner, and it looks to me like he just misjudged the turn in, John. Went straight off into the grass, and of course the grass is pretty wet right now, and just shot right across the racetrack.
You were talking about cold tires. That's the second fastest turn on this racetrack. And coming up over the hill, it's a blind approach. And he just carried a little too much speed. And he's got trouble because that car is weaving all over the racetrack.
We went full course yellow for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. Kyle Dupel's off. That is why we're full course yellow. We'll pan out of this one. We'll see where Kyle has gone off in the Opal Crate Cape Motorsports entry. That is in turn number 8. Yeah, before they come over Madness there, coming out of turn 6 and 7 over the hill. He's gone off. I'm telling you.
What a first lap, huh?
Well, this championship, John, honestly, first 6 races in a row, Christian Rasmussen flat dominated. So you're thinking, oh, here's a guy that could potentially run away with the championship. He struggled at Indianapolis, didn't quite have the pace, but still was 6th in the opening race, 5th in the second race. You're going to say, you know what? Little blip, but he's going to be all right. Then he has the issue at the start, was starting off pole in race 3, not able to get going, punches it, and the car just doesn't go anywhere. Everybody makes moves around him, actually gets hit from behind by Michael D'Orlando. This was going to be his comeback. This was his coming back and saying, hey, you know what? I'm on the pole. I'm going to dominate again. I'm going to win this race. He had a 50-point lead coming in. This blows this championship wide open.
Absolutely does, and he has lost his front wing in that contact with the barrier. So let's see if he makes a call to the pits. He's already last. Yeah, he's going to pull in. Obviously, the Jay Howard crew will get to work and see if they can get a new nose on that car and at least give him a fighting chance to work his way through the field.
True enough. Yeah, he's going to have an opportunity to get back through, especially with the full course yellow. But, man, I'll tell you, you talked about turn number 11, that blind coming out of Thunder Valley. I've raced here in a shifter kart. I've raced here in a Formula V, a Formula First. It's a sketchy corner until you get comfortable with your car because the car just totally floats. You kind of got to pick your turn-in point because you can't see anything.
Yep.
And then when he went off, had it wound up enough, I think. I'm really surprised it got, to a certain extent, got all the way to the tire barriers, but with the grass being as wet as it was.
Yeah, the morning dew on the grass
he
makes
could
it
not get it wound up.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's we used to call it turbo grass here at Mid-Ohio.
I like that.
Once you get on the grass, you're going for a ride, or you're a passenger at that point.
So let's reset to a certain extent. Michael D'Orlando, who pushed so hard on his teammate Reese Gold. Michael coming into the championship right now in 6th position. He did not have a good weekend at Indianapolis as well. A 20th, a 6th, and a 19th. He gave a lot of points up, but he leads right now. Reese Gold in 2nd, Nolan Siegel up to 3rd. Josh Green now 4th, and Matt Roungarito rounding out your top 5. From 13th to 6th for Christian Brooks, and he has a lot more pace than 13th on the grid. Keep an eye on the 44 Christian Brooks. He is loving this restart. Everything's working for Brooks, actually. He comes in here 4th in points, I believe, back by just 94 markers. He's 6th. Cameron Shields 7th. Euban Sunder-Mur the 8th. Christian Bogle 9th, and Kiko Porta rounding out the top 10. Barrichello from 21st, of course, a couple drivers out of the race. He ends up going up to 17th already. So a solid start for Eduardo Barrichello in the Pabst Racing Machine, going to, as I said, 17th.
Yeah, problem also for Jack William Miller, all the way back to 20th after qualifying up in 10th spot.
Indeed, getting a word from one of my spotters, actually Steve Whittick from TSOladder.com, tell me that the 40 and the 8 under review. So that would have been Jack William Miller and Kyle Dupel, potential contact between those two drivers, which of course we'll have to watch out as well. So interesting. We'll see how things shake down here. Press the reset button at the start of USF2000. An uncharacteristic mistake out of Christian Rasmussen, the point leader for Jay Howard Driver Development, and he's not able to get the car placed correctly coming up out of Thunder Valley in turn number 11. He ends up going off the racetrack on driver's right, so off to the right side of the track, straight across the grass, came back across the asphalt, but of course wasn't able to load the car up at all because the tires were wet at that point with the morning dew from the grass, straight off, and did make contact. And I'm surprised I wonder whether or not there was some potential left front damage. You said the wing, they were taking the wing off, but he hit it pretty hard.
Yeah, it looked to me when he came back on the track that the left front looked like it maybe a track arm might have been bent, because it definitely looked like it was at a whoppy angle, but he was able to, drive the car around. So we'll see if he's able to get that car back out there and catch up with the back of the pack before we go green.
So back at it once again. Michael D'Orlando finds himself as the leader for the first time here in his Road to Indy career. He'll have his teammate Reese Gold behind him for what will be a single file restart. Wow, I'll tell you, you know what? You never know what happens here in the Road to Indy. And I talked about this the entire start of the season as Christian Rasmussen was winning all those races, six events, 6 victories to start the season. And, people in the paddock like, this is going to be a walk-away, second-year driver, super talented. And I'm not taking anything away from Christian, because this guy has skills. 3 wins last year for Christian Rasmussen. And again, one of the guys, it's interesting, who has that trifecta. He's won on a street course, he's won on the oval, just won the Freedom 75, and he's also won on one of the natural terrain road courses. So he has all 3. Just a miscue. He was out in the lead. You got to figure it's an opportunity to pull away. Just that stress of coming in. This is where he went off the racetrack, coming out of Thunder Valley over top of the hill. Went right across the grass, straight here. You can see the lines. He got back on the racetrack. We're getting ready to go back to green. Michael D'Orlando will bring him out here, and he'll punch off. Green flag flying, and we're racing once again at USF2000. D'Orlando going to jump out to the lead with Reese Gold second. Cape Motorsports getting their first win of the 2020 season with Reese Gold in race number 3 at Indianapolis. Now they run 1-2. Keep an eye again on the number 22 of Eduardo Barrichello, trying to work his way forward. Nolan Siegel getting real aggressive on the outside as well. Siegel to the outside, coming through the keyhole, the downhill off-camber corner, trying to get power down to see if he can't challenge Reese Gold for second. Slots right in behind the gearbox. And look at Christian Brooks back there as well. He's making a move to the inside of Matt Round-Garrido. John Brooks on the move out of turn number 2.
Indeed, on their way down toward turn 4, the best braking zone on the racetrack, as they hit the brakes hard, and D'Orlando and Gold go side by side briefly, but D'Orlando able to maintain the lead as they work their way up to turn number 5.
Christian Brooks indeed on the inside of Matt Round-Garrido. They went side by side through 4, 5. He's got the advantageous inside line for turn number 6. So move Christian Brooks now to P5. Good advancement for the young Californian driver. He'll now put the sights on the rear wing of Josh Green. In the number 2, driver to Mount Kisco, New York, fellow rookie driver. Green looking good here. Has had a pretty solid start to the season, currently running 5th place in points. 2nd and 3rd, a couple of podiums to start the season. Has not yet been on the podium since that run at Road America, so he'll be most definitely trying to fight his way back up. But I'll tell you, we've seen this before, John. Get a driver out front here at Mid-Ohio, comfortable with the car, you're able to pull away. That's the beauty of this racetrack. Once you get out front and really start to lay those laps down, everybody else behind wants to start fighting.
Yeah, it's a tough track to pass on.
Yeah.
Let's be frank, and it's relatively narrow compared to some other tracks, and you really don't get a break. I mean, the long back straightaways even got a dog leg in the middle of it.
Right.
So there's just really not much room for a driver to collect his wits and go for a pass. And so you see a lot of single file racing, and the drivers really have to pick and choose their spots.
Christian Rasmussen able to get back out onto the racetrack, and you have to wonder what kind of damage there might have been. That's him there rolling, I believe, coming through at the very tail of the field in that number 6, about 15 seconds back. They were able to get the wing replaced on the number 6 Tatis USF2000, but he's well back now. Driver's scrapping it out in front of him. There's a good fight there as well between Christian Bogle and Simon Sykes. That's for 10th position, and that's something we see all the time here in USF2000 battles all the way through the field. Up front right now, not so much. Michael D'Orlando seeing if he can't jet away to grab his first win. And what a kind of shift that would be to a certain extent, because right now with Rasmussen at the tail of the field, there's an opportunity for Reese Gold to really claw into that 50-point lead. This is the battle I talked about. That's now the number 7 of Bogle, and then the 20 of Simon Sykes, and right behind them the number 5 of Wyatt Prokachik. So a couple of J. Howard driver development drivers sandwiching Simon Sykes in the Legacy Autosport machine, but Sykes got a really good run out of 14. Look for Simon in that green and white machine number 20 to try to see if he can't work his way into the top 10. They'll work their way out of 1. A little further back, here comes Simon looking to the inside, coming to the keyhole, side by side. Oh, Simon up on the curb. Christian pinched him down a little bit into turn number 2.
Indeed, Louisiana driver able to hang on to that position, but Sykes is right on his rear wing as they make their way to the kink, as I'm guessing he's going to pop as they come down into turn number 4. Question is, where is Bogle going to position his car?
That's it, right? Coming down into that braking zone, too. Yeah, Sykes has got it done.
Yep.
Book it to the inside. Turn 4. Nice little exit slide, a little bit of exit oversteer, but he was able to handle the wheel on that one. Good job there for Simon Sykes now into the top 10. Sykes working his way up through madness and over to turn 8 and 9. Christian Brooks trying to put that pressure as well on Josh Green. Everybody right now, Gold, Brooks, Green, D'Orlando, Brown, Garrido, all try to take advantage of the fact that Christian Rasmussen all the way back in 20th position.
Yeah, and Christian Rasmussen not making up any ground on the back of the pack, so I'm guessing that car is still not right as he's having trouble working his way forward.
Good scrap there between Josh Sarche and the number 1 of Prescott Campbell. So that's a really good battle all told there. That's Bogle, Brkacek, Sykes. Bogle and Brkacek back by Sykes. Not sure what happened to Simon. Sarche right there and Campbell right there. And I'll tell you, Eduardo Barrichello, 15th position's right there as well. So he's got a chance to really fight all the way up to P10.
Exactly right, and the higher he gets, the more points he scores, and he's on, lying third in the points, some 57 behind Reese Gold. But again, this is a golden opportunity for both of them to make up ground on Christian Rasmussen.
And he just made a move on the outside of, I believe, Josh Sarche potentially. We'll see that when they come down into turn number 4, but that was an outside move for Barrichello. Sykes tried the outside now. He's, again, trying to get by Bogle. They've been scrapping it out. So Bogle goes back to the spot. Actually, that might be Brkacek. I think Brkacek now potentially up into 10th. Regardless, some really good racing here, just inside and outside the top 10. 7/10 of a second lead for Michael D'Orlando over Reese Gold, and they've got 8/10 back to Nolan Siegel. So both those Cape Motorsports drivers trying to stretch out a little bit.
Following the progress of Rasmussen, he was able to get around Myers to move up into 19th. So perhaps that car is getting to the point where he's finding out what it's going to give him, and he's getting a little more comfortable with it, driving around the problem. We'll see what ground he can make up.
That's interesting to bring up as we're getting watching the fight here between Josh Sarche and Prescott Campbell, the Arizona driver and the California, and that is for the 13th spot. But for a driver like Christian Rasmussen, you make that mistake. You're able to change the front wing. Maybe the left front's tweaked a little bit. Maybe it's bent a little bit. It doesn't mean you're still not going to be able to push the car hard and potentially be able to find out how to drive it. Like you said, You drive around the problem. How do I need to approach a corner? Am I braking earlier, braking later? When do I roll on the throttle? The car may not be perfect, but a good driver is going to be able to drive to the limit of that car.
Yeah, and that's something that these drivers are learning in this whole process. Go ahead.
Just watch. I think that was Prescott Campbell, who I think went wide coming out of turn number 2, and Campbell jumped over top of the curb. You go too wide on the outside of that exit curb and roll it all the way to the end, and there's a big jump there, and it'll kind of throw you up in the air. And I think that's what happened potentially to the one of Prescott Campbell. He lost a spot. Yeah, lost one spot to Jack William Miller. Look at this fight. That is aggressive racing right there. I want to say that's Matt Round, Garrido, Kiko Porto, and Cameron Shields, the Aussie. They're going at it for 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yeah, that's a three-way battle, and they're side-by-side coming down into turn number 10. As they're going to climb the hill, they fall back in single file as they go through that really tricky turn 11.
And so there's the 23 there of Round Garrido. Then it's, I believe, Porto, and then the 21 of Sundar Amurthy. So Shields has been able to get by. Christian Brooks gets by Josh Green finally as well. He was putting a lot of pressure on Josh Green. He's 1.5 seconds now behind Nolan Siegel. Christian Brooks up on the wheel. And I'll tell you, if he's able to get a good run here, this is be interesting for Brooks. This is a guy who absolutely is hoping for rain. Not a lot of drivers hope for rain, but he, of course, coming out of karting, went to the Red Bull Global Rallycross program for GRC Lights, and has a lot of skill set throwing a car around when it's loose in the dirt. I think he's really looking forward to rain tomorrow. And if he gets a good run today, be able to run that off tomorrow as well. Ooh, little contact there coming out of turn 2.
Trying to go into the grass there as he was being forced wide.
A little defensive move for sure, John.
Yeah, no doubt. As Christian Brooks from 13th all the way up to 4th, challenging for a podium spot here.
Yeah, he's got to be happy with where he is now. Again, comes in the 4th spot in points, 94 behind. And again, Rasmussen's worked his way up to 17th. He's been able to get by Michael Myers, Max Kaiser, and Josh Pearson. So Rasmussen most definitely limiting the damage right now as he runs in 17th. That would be 261 points. And with a win, D'Orlando, I would believe, go up to 174. So he's still going to be quite a ways back. Reese Gold, though, second, as I said. So a second's 219. 219, yeah, 30 points, less than 30 points as they run on the racetrack. 219 for Gold, 250 for Rasmussen. 31 points as they run on track, and that's just one race.
Yeah, exactly right. You got 2 more to go this weekend. Another one this afternoon, and then a race tomorrow as well.
Full points, 33 points if you get the race win, qualify pole, lead all the laps, not the fastest lap of the race. So it's really just 1 full point haul away. And Rasmussen, who had a massive lead coming into Indianapolis, is seeing that shrink away with a minor mistake today, but he's still got a chance. Still a ways to go for him to potentially work his way forward. He's got Jack William Miller, Prescott Campbell, Josh Sarche right in front of him as well. So Rasmussen do whatever he can now to limit the damage.
Yeah, we're well into the second half of this race with about 12 and a half minutes remaining. So it's getting to go time here as some of these drivers are going to try to make up some positions here as we get into the final 10 minutes of this one.
We'll take an opportunity to say hello to those who have tuned into the Road to Indy TV app or on USF2000.com. We love the fact that you're able to follow along with all the live coverage of our events throughout the season on the Road to Indy app. If you're around the racetrack right now and enjoying our first event of the day and you don't have that Road to Indy TV app downloaded to your mobile device, pretty easy to do. Just go to the App Store and get that, and you're able to follow all the action, all of our live coverage on there, live timing, all the race reviews are on the video race reviews, any episode of Road to Indy TV. My Road to Indy Insider podcast is on there as well. Lots of content on the Road to Indy app to give you an opportunity to stay up to speed on everything happening with the ladder program that continues to feed drivers to the NTT IndyCar Series.
We'll see the second step on the ladder a little later on as the Indy Pro 2000 drivers will be back at 12:15 for their first race of the weekend. They've just got a doubleheader. They're not doing 3 races.
They get the 2 ovals, right?
Yeah.
They get the second oval, so they end up with the same amount of races at the end of the season. Of course, a big race for Devlin DeFrancesco at Worldwide Technology Raceway, getting his first win on an oval as well. One of the biggest runs there was Braden Eves going to P2, and obviously, John, as you know Braden. He's from New Albany, Ohio. You've watched him and called a lot of his races coming up through the ranks, and a nasty accident in Indianapolis. So great to see him here this weekend. He's actually walking around, has the neck brace on, and is kind of laughing and talking to everybody. Hopefully, we're going to have him potentially in here to be an analyst for one of our races as well. We'll see if he's up to doing that. He may just want to go out and hang out and just talk to everybody and watch the races, but again, this was going to be his race, right? The Mid-Ohio race. He's from nearby New Albany. He was so excited to be here, but decided to come out anyways. Looking forward to seeing him get back behind the wheel in 2021.
Yeah, exactly right.
New fast lap laid down by Cameron Shields. He runs in the 6th position. He's trying to reel in Josh Green. Green running 5th, Shields 6th. Christian Brooks watching lap times last time by. He was about 0.2 of a second quicker than Nolan Siegel. Time winding down, 10 minutes to go. Brooks to within 1.5 seconds now. Siegel, who's about a second behind Reese Gold, but it's an 0.8 of a second lead for Michael D'Orlando. We may see our 3rd new winner on the year. Of course, as we said, Rasmussen already had 3 victories from 2019, John, when he went on his streak to start the season. But Eduardo Barrichello and Reese Gold able to get their first wins at Indianapolis.
Yeah, exactly. You've only had 3 winners over the course of the season. I mean, with Rasmussen's big run of 6 to start the season, and then Barrichello coming through with a pair at Indy, and then Reese Gold taking the last one. So we could have our 4th winner on the season here.
I'm just watching the video. Those of you who are watching on the Road to Indy app, did you see that slide for Simon Sykes coming out of turn number 6? Little exit oversteer. He caught that and just laid that throttle back down. And I think one of the most exciting things of this weekend for me has been seeing Simon Sykes last weekend as well come and join us here. He's leading the F1600 Championship Series points, and this guy is an absolute talent on the racetrack, but fantastic out of the car as well. Just a great young man, and really excited to see him be with us. I hope he's able to put a program together to be full-time in 2021, because I think there's a lot of talent there for Simon Sykes.
He's pretty good in iRacing too.
He is. You know what? I called a lot of his races. I called 39 iRacing events in the off season, and he and I talked about that in one of the when he was coming to the race, we did a podcast with himself, Michael Myers, and Devlin DiFrancesco, one of my live broadcasts, and he was talking about the fact that he got a chance to be in all these races, and because he did so well, got invited to some other races with a lot of IndyCar drivers. And there was one particular race, and they ran Daytona with the IndyCars, and he was literally in an iRacing battle with Ryan Hunter-Ray, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kyle Busch, a couple other guys. And he says, because Rob, it was surreal. Here I am at home on iRacing, and I'm racing like I'm literally pushing Kyle Busch in an IndyCar down the back straightaway in IndyCar. It's in iRacing. It was what an amazing day. We all hated being at home, but there were some really weird things that were happening that were pretty cool.
What a long, strange trip it has been this year, man.
Indeed.
It has been a weird one.
Almost a full second now, the lead for Michael D'Orlando out front in that number 4 machine. He's looking to get that first win. And another driver who, I'm telling you, the stress and the pressure of trying to win, if he gets this victory, it will the amount of pressure it will release off his shoulders, off his neck, because every one of these young drivers wants to win a race. And once you get that first one, it just takes that pressure off.
Pretty good battle for fourth between Christian Brooks, Josh Green, and Cameron Shields. They are nose to tail as they came across the stripe as Brooks right there. That's a great three-way battle.
Yeah, indeed. I kind of expected Brooks to be able to pull away a little bit more from Josh Green, but I think Josh using that draft, he's getting pushed from behind as well by Cam Shields. So again, a couple of Americans battling with the Aussie from Toowoomba, same hometown as Will Power. Cameron Shields, a winner last year in the Freedom 75 at Lucas Oil Raceway with Newman Walks Racing. Started the season with Legacy Autosport, moved to Indianapolis to run with D-Force Racing. Kind of got his feet wet with the team, learning the culture of the team at Indy, and has been very strong here at Mid-Ohio, currently in the 6th position. He's got a couple even better starting positions later in the weekend as well, so Shields strongly into 6th. But as you said, a good battle with Brooks and Green for positions within the top 5.
Yeah, there's another four-way battle just a little deeper in the pack between Matt Round-Garrido, Yuven Sundararamuthi, Christian Bogle, and Eduardo Barrichello all the way up to 11th, and he is all over Bogle trying to get into the top 10.
Yeah, so this is it. And again, we're talking about the fact that Rasmussen's worked his way back up to 16th position, closing up on Josh Sarche, so a potential for him to get past him as well. Rasmussen trying to just shut the bleeding down, as we said, 250 points as he runs on the racetrack. But this is going to be solid for Eduardo Barrichello. He's not making as many points back, but he came in 57 back. As he runs on the racetrack right now, he's back by only 53. So he's been able to get a couple extra points.
Yep.
We'll see. Actually, Rasmussen now gets back by Sarche, so he's just kind of getting a little bit back. Barrichello needs at least one more position here as well. But nonetheless, any points coming back is a positive on a race day.
Absolutely.
Looks like Christian Brooks has been able to pull away a little bit, get a little more breathing room between he and Josh Green. He's 1.3 seconds still behind Nolan Siegel. It was a 10th quicker last time by. About 5.5 minutes remaining in our first of what will be 3 Road to Indy races for you here today. Of course, Indy Pro 2000, as John had mentioned, their first race a little later on, and further into the day, USF2000 getting their second race in as well.
Just coming up on 5.5 minutes
Indeed.
remaining in this one, so that's just a handful of laps here. Field pretty well spread out. There's a couple good battles going on, as we said. The one between Brooks, Green, and Shields still pretty tight, although Christian Brooks, like you said, has been able to pull away, but he's now only about 0.8 of a second behind Nolan Siegel, so clearly he's left something at the end here.
Oh, that was a big lap, a 1:21.7. Brooks the same lap time, almost a fast lap. I think it might have been, it was actually the fast lap of the race.
Yeah.
A 1:21.721 fast lap of the race. Rasmussen just resets it coming through from P15. He's trying to close up on Prescott Campbell now. But, yeah, that was at least, I want to say, 0.4 quicker than Nolan Siegel. Christian Brooks, fastest driver in that lead 5 right now, trying to reel in to potentially go to P3. Brooks trying to get on the podium again. I believe on the podium last 2 races. Yeah, indeed, he was 3rd and 2nd at Indianapolis. This will be his 3rd straight podium for Christian Brooks, that rookie driver who's really starting to settle in, getting a good dialogue with his engineer, starting to feel the car a little bit more. We're back here at Mid-Ohio for the second time as well. Not something normally we do, John. The drivers don't get a second shot at a racetrack. Reese Gold getting close as well. So there's the battle for 3rd and 4th right there. That's 5th and 6th between Green and Shields. All by himself, Kiko Porto. Here's Matt Round-Garrido and Yuven Sundararamuthi, the 2 teammates for Pabst Racing, 8th and 9th. And there's 10th, 11th, and 12th. That is Bogle, Barrichello, and Brakacic.
Bogle has lost a touch with Sundaramurthy, so Barrichello staying right with him, and Brkacek has now joined that party. So that's a three-way battle for 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Christian Brooks now to within 0.6 of a second of Nolan Siegel. Quicker by 0.3 last time by. 121.656. He's still the fastest driver on the racetrack in the top 10. Rasmussen a little bit quicker than Brooks last time by. He's got in the car, just that little mistake on the opening lap is what caused Rasmussen. He's up to 15th position. He's gained a couple of points back, which is solid. He's trying to close up now here on Prescott Campbell. Potential for one more spot, I think, here for Rasmussen, trying to get by Campbell for 14th. But nonetheless, we got ourselves a battle for the final position on the podium. D'Orlando still leading the way. Gold in second. 3 minutes to go. There's your leaders coming through 6. Look at Reese Gold hounding D'Orlando, trying to force that mistake. There's the two Pabst cars. Matt Roungarito and Sundaramurthy. Bogle, Barrichello, and Brkacek. 10th, 11th, and 12th.
The 3 Bs.
That's it.
Simon Sykes kind of all by himself there in,
He'll take
in that 13th
though.
spot. But yeah, absolutely. That's a good finish for him.
Yeah, I like Simon getting some good racing here. Not in a championship battle. All about experience, all about learning this race car. Just be smart right now. And I think Simon's doing everything that we would have wanted him to do. I'm sure he would like the top 10, but better just to get a good racing, get that experience, bring the car home in one piece. Top 10s will come.
Probably see one to go next time by.
Agreed. Yeah. John's called a few races here, so I'm gonna defer to his knowledge, thinking that it's going to be a one to go. Rasmussen indeed able to get by Prescott Campbell, so another point, one more point every time.
Yep.
For Rasmussen, 253. Reese Gold would be second at 219, so it would still be 54 points. Probably 44 points, or no, 34 points, right?
Correct.
No, is it 40? Yeah, 34 points.
Yep.
So a good cut in there, 34 points. He was 50 back, so a 16-point shift. Man, 34 points. It was, I think, 90 at one point.
Yeah, with 33 on offer for each race. I mean, that's doable, man.
That's the key. That is definitely the key. So watching the drivers work their way through, we're expecting to see that white flag. Again, 34 points now, the gap between first and second point-wise. Barrichello, it would be 56 for Barrichello, and he was 57 coming in. He has not gained back what he wanted at all. Rasmussen did have that 1 point for qualifying on the pole as well, and he's got the fast lap bonus. That's the key as well here right now. Somebody's got to pull that fast lap away from him.
White flag is in the air right now. One more to go.
We're not done here for the race for the lead either. Michael D'Orlando only 0.4 of a second ahead of Gold, and 0.3 back is Brooks from Siegel. I think we're going to see a fight potentially for first and third. There's your first battle. Oh, well, yeah, Brooks is all over the gearbox. I don't think Gold's close enough in turn number 4 right now unless he gets the big run, but Brooks most definitely could get the draft here. And same for the fight for 5th and 6th as well between Green and Shields.
Absolutely.
We get a lot of races going on here still.
Indeed we do.
Let's get that shot at turn number 4. Nothing for the lead. Inside move for
Siegel
Yeah.
holding on. Brooks trying to go around the outside, and Siegel's making that car wide.
Let's get down to 6. See if he's not close enough. Man, that car almost got away from Brooks over in turn number 6 is Siegel. Good run for him. Same goes. Everything kind of staying stationed right now. And from here, John, as you know, pretty tough to pass.
Yep.
From here on in, Michael D'Orlando trying to come home with his first Road to Indy victory. First full season as well here with Cape Motorsports. He'll come out of Thunder Valley through the carousel. It's all about car placement there. Make sure you hold on to the race car out of the final couple of corners. Ladies and gentlemen, his first ever Road to Indy win that comes in Mid-Ohio. USF2000 victory goes to Michael D'Orlando. Cape Motorsports 1, 2, 5. D'Orlando with the win. Gold second. Nolan Siegel on the podium holding off Christian Brooks. Kiko Porto stealing the fast lap. Can Rasmussen get it back? That's a point. Can Rasmussen get it back? Barrichello gets into the top 10. Rasmussen coming across the line. Does he steal that bonus point back? 22.16. He does not. A 21.5 Kiko Porto pulling a point away. That's going to allow Gold and Barrichello to get a little bit closer. Wow, we saw some action there. Michael D'Orlando with the race win. Half a second the advantage over Reese Gold. Nolan Siegel ends up P3. Christian Brooks in 4th spot. Josh Green 5th. Cameron Shields in 6th. Kiko Porto 7th. The two Pabst Racing drivers, Matt Rangarito and Yuban Sundaramur, the 8th and 9th, and Eduardo Barrichello from dead last up into the 10th position, 198 points to 152, so a 54-point difference. He ends up gaining 3 points, not as many as he would have liked, but still, okay, starting dead last, you had to figure he was going to lose points, not gain points, so a net win for Eduardo Barrichello.
And he starts outside of the front row in the second race.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a lot better for race number 2, right?
Yeah.
So a net win for him. He would have had to have figured with Rasmussen on pole, he was going to lose more points. He ends up gaining a couple of points, tightening things up. The gap between first and second now, though, I think that's the key. It ends up being 34 points between the leader, Rasmussen, and Reese Gold. Just more than one full day's worth of points, but nonetheless, when you're talking about all the races we have still, 2 more races here, John, 3 at New Jersey and 2 at St. Petersburg. There's 7 races still to go. This championship blown wide open after a turn, turn 12, right? 12, 13, 13, 14.
Yep.
Coming through 11 and 12 into the carousel, an issue with Rasmussen. He ends up 14th coming from the tail of the field. Wow, that's, I didn't have a coffee this morning, and I don't need one now. I'm pretty fired up.
Yeah, indeed.
That was wild. John, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to go jump in the Cooper Tire golf cart and head over to the Cooper Tire truck over just by the bridge of turn number 1. That's where we're going to be doing Victory Lane. Of course, IndyCar has their bubble. We're not going to be going there. We're going to, if anybody ever wants to come to one of our Victory Lanes, the Cooper Tire trailer set up just outside the bridge over top of turn number 1. We'd love to have people come and join us there.
Indeed, and we'll be giving you a play-by-play of that action as Rob Howden making his way to the Cooper Tire stage right now to celebrate with Michael D'Orlando, Reese Gold, and Nolan Siegel, as we will set the stage for the next race on the card today, and that, of course, is the first of 2 for the Battery Tender Global MX-5 Cup. And that's coming up at 9:25, so that's still about 25 minutes from now. A little bit of time, but we'll keep it right here and send you out to Rob Howden with the podium ceremonies.
It's me, your Uncle Cooper, and this is a Cooper tire. Great tire. Now, it's not going to cook you a pot roast, but it will stop when you hit the brakes. And these truck tires can stop on average 10 feet shorter than other tires on a wet road. See, the trick is in the grip, and these tires grip like my handshake. Look, I'm your uncle. I love you. I want you to stop when you need to. Doesn't matter if it's for a red light or a duckling. So go with the Coopers. Cooper! And never start something you can't stop.
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the Road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
Welcome to Road to Indy TV. Download the app to watch live and get access to exclusive content all season long.
It's me, your Uncle Cooper, and this is a Cooper tire. Great tire. Now, it's not going to cook you a pot roast, but it will stop when you hit the brakes. And these truck tires can stop on average 10 feet shorter than other tires on a wet road. See, the trick is in the grip, and these tires grip like my handshake. Look, I'm your uncle. I love you. I want you to stop when you need to. Doesn't matter if it's for a red light or a duckling. So go with the Coopers. Cooper! And never start something you can't stop.
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the Road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.